Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Rick Lemon.
Oh! It is Thanksgiving 2019, November 28th. Yo, I kind of feel like it's super late this year.
Well, that's because it is.
Like, my birth date is the 24th, and it usually falls within 1 or 2 days of that special day where you gorge yourself.
Usually, too, people, you hear Christmas music before Thanksgiving anyway.
Right.
But this year, I feel like it's extra.
Oh, people are psychopaths.
Yeah. But I think...
No, it's not even just the Christmas music, because usually it's just the Christmas music, and then everyone decorates after. This year, it's the incessant need to set up Christmas decorations.
Oh, yeah. Like, the day after
Christmas
Halloween.
Movies. The day after Halloween. I was like, is Christmas starting extra early
now,
this
is that
year?
just because people are extra, or is that because Thanksgiving is
I feel like people are just
for the bag?
Extra lit about it being 2020 next year.
Good try.
Yeah, it was an attempt. Yeah, it is Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, November 28th. For those of you who are listening on actual Thanksgiving,
if you are, you probably
you're
are like
a true champion. We just so you know, if you're listening today, we did break down all the Thursday games yesterday, so you don't have to listen to this episode.
You're probably listening right now.
Yeah.
If you are listening on Thursday, like just ignoring your family.
Yeah. Just put the headphones
in between games or doing dishes or something.
Grandma is talking and she
probably
can't hear you back,
just nod your head right now.
Grandpa's sleeping.
Oh, he's passed out at 1:30. He's passed out at halftime at the Bears Lions.
And I'll tell you right now, if you are watching the game as we speak, I can guarantee you that the Bears are losing.
With Jeff Driscoll as quarterback?
Heck yeah.
I don't know.
Says he doesn't know. I do. Watch it happen, boss.
Okay.
Yeah, my name's Morgan Colby. Got Rick Lemon right across from me.
So,
we have a lot to break down today. We're going to talk about 10 freaking games for this week in starts and sits.
Yeah.
To start the show, because it is Thanksgiving, we're going to give you our favorite Thanksgiving food item of choice. I feel like turkey is a cop-out, so...
You know what? And I'm going to say this right now.
Put that at the
I
top.
might get a lot of heat for this.
Oh, boy.
I think turkey's overrated.
White or dark meat? White or dark meat? Because that's a interesting discussion.
I like both.
He's like, I like ham.
I know I just said it's over. I like ham more than turkey. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I can't. I hate ham.
Really?
I do.
Oh, I love ham. Especially like baked ham. Oh.
Stop.
Anyway.
Honey baked. There you go.
Yeah, oh, dude.
What holiday is
don't
this?
Don't get me started. Yeah, for turkey, light or dark, I really don't know. I really don't have a preference. I know most people do. I really don't. I usually go with the light turkey, but I really don't have a preference.
Racist.
What?
Nothing. Continue.
Okay, well, what's your choice?
Oh, it's white meat. I find.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So
if
if
don't
you,
come at me.
I noticed that the no, I'm not gonna say it out loud. I was gonna say the hefty people usually eat the darker meat.
You know, I didn't want to say that, but
now there are non-hefty people who like dark meat as well. But
you fat shaming?
Dark. I'm not. I'm saying you like what you like. It is what it is. I'm just saying.
You're saying it's dark. Just a coincidence.
It's a coincidence.
Okay.
No, but dark meat is so saturated with fat.
Are you saying
it's like pure
obesity in America is caused
by Thanksgiving? We're all screwed tomorrow.
You know, I heard something online. People think they gain like a lot of weight over Thanksgiving and over the Christmas break, but apparently you only gain usually 1 pound. Studies showed.
That's interesting.
So it's all in everybody's head.
I was gonna say because I feel like I always gain. I think it's
everybody says
the
that.
Time after, because you gorge yourself for like a straight month, and then you stop, and then you try to do your New Year's resolution for 2 days.
Yeah,
go to one, and then after that, you know, that's when you start really settling into the winter.
Yeah,
if you live in a cold environment. Notice how everyone in the warmer climates are usually not, unless it's Florida, are not very hefty.
I don't know. You never been.
It just offended everyone.
You never been down to the deep south. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's always never mind. So
this is probably a conversation for a different day. To be honest.
Favorite Thanksgiving food?
Yeah, mine is probably mac and cheese. I know.
So wait, you actually have?
So here's the thing: we
mac
don't
and cheese.
At Thanksgiving for my family.
He goes home. He's like, "Wow,
we
that
don't,
dinner blew. I'm making boxed mac and cheese."
Kraft.
Yeah.
Usually it's baked, by the way. Usually it's like 50-50.
Oh, so you're telling me you make the mac and cheese, the Kraft mac and cheese in a box, and then you bake it?
No, that's not what I was. No, actually, you got it wrong.
He prefers that.
We put the mac and cheese, the Kraft mac and chease box
in the oven,
and then we just eat it out of the box. Is actually how we do it.
Disgusting.
No, we have baked mac and cheese. We don't always have mac and cheese at Thanksgiving though, and those are the years that are my least favorite. But this year I am making sure that we are having baked mac and cheese because I'm not a good cook, but I told someone I know in my family who is a good cook to make it.
Okay.
So I am very happy that my family is having baked mac and cheese for Thanksgiving this year.
Scale of 1 to 10, how disappointed you would be if that person didn't come through?
Oh gosh, 100.
100.
I'd probably just go to someone else's house.
Now, see, if you know me at all,
yeah, which I don't know who you are.
I could eat Chipotle on Thanksgiving and probably be very happy.
Oh yeah,
but
I could too.
I could eat anything really. There isn't. Everyone has one thing that they hate. Maybe we'll talk about that. But
okay.
My favorite Thanksgiving food or side dish, I guess, is like it's. I don't know if it's special that my family makes it this way, but it is squash. It's like mixed up like potatoes. And they put like freaking street brown sugar and cinnamon, and that's all I need: butter, brown sugar, and cinnamon. Okay. With squash mashed up.
I'm not a squash person, but that doesn't sound bad.
It's delicious.
Okay.
It's freaking unreal.
You're getting defensive about your squash.
I'm getting very excited to eat. I'll see you in 10 minutes. Yeah. So that's my favorite. I guess I hate buttered corn.
Wow, that is a weird one. Okay.
Like I like buttered corn on the cob, but I hate like. Off the cob, a majority of people in America probably bought frozen, like freaking corn.
Yeah.
Or canned corn.
Oh yeah, I don't.
See, I can do sweet corn, but that usually doesn't have the butter on it. I don't know. There's something.
That's odd. Okay.
It's always something I skip.
No, mine's odd too, so I'm not gonna really judge you. I hate gravy.
Lasagna.
People who have lasagna at Thanksgiving are insane. Yeah. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I don't like gravy. So. I don't know if that counts as
I never use gravy.
I absolutely have never liked gravy since the day I was born.
Fair.
So if anything is involving gravy, I'm staying away from it.
Brown gravy too?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's lame.
Any gravy.
See, I don't really care. You know, I think a lot of people I don't understand the obsession with cranberry sauce, but
I like cranberry sauce.
And I'm a cranberry guy. I'm a cranberry guy because I drink the cranberry seltzer water. I drink cranberry juice.
That's weird, okay.
I drink anything cranberry related. I make cranberry related things all year, not just in the.
So you know what's funny?
Heat of summer, I'm eating cranberries, but then it gets to Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm not eating the cranberries.
I'm the complete opposite. I'm not really a big cranberry person, but I like cranberry sauce.
You are downing the cranberry sauce with a roll.
Not that extreme. Like it's not in my top 5 favorite dishes or anything like that, but I think it's a decent. It's not bad. It's not bad. Cranberry sauce is not bad.
Let's get to some news. Before we talk about the news, though, check out our website at thefantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter at TheFFChamps, on Instagram at TheFantasyChampions. Like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/TheFantasyChampions. Subscribe wherever you listen. Click the bell on YouTube for notifications. Leave a review and share this podcast with your friends. Let's get to the news. So there's not a lot of news as of right now. I didn't see much. So if you see something that's not here, just blurt it out.
Okay.
So Adam Thielen resumed practicing on Tuesday. I haven't heard any information about Wednesday's practice. They don't play today, right? I don't think so. So
he did not practice Wednesday.
He didn't practice Wednesday? Okay. Yeah. People have been waiting for the return of Thielen for quite some time. I don't even know how long he's been out.
It's a hamstring.
I kind of forgot about him.
So he's missed. He missed the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
The last 3 weeks if you include a bye. And he only played one snap. Or I don't know if it was one snap. He had one target and re-injured. So he's kind of
basically a month.
If you include that, and then he missed the week before that. So he originally missed 1 week, tried to come back, re-injured it, and missed 3 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah, so it's been about 5 weeks.
Well, he has not. He practiced Wednesday, you said?
He did not practice Wednesday.
So he practiced on Tuesday and didn't practice.
That's kind of weird. He stretched with teammates and worked on the side.
Okay, so if he practices Friday, we still don't know nothing.
I think
if he practices Friday, he should be good to go. I don't know the.
It's going to be a game time decision.
Okay, Devonta Freeman. It was announced that he did practice again Wednesday and Tuesday, and it has been announced that he's going to play Sunday. It's likely Julio, or not Sunday, Thursday, because they play Thursday night. I'm sorry, tonight. And Julio Jones is questionable for Week 13 against the Saints. So just keep an eye on the Julio Jones. He is They haven't said it, but I would expect him to play. If he does not, then fire up Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I guess so. Although
against the Saints,
Marshawn Lattimore shut down. I mean, other than, well, he did shut down Mike Evans. So other than,
I think he's hurt though.
Oh, is he hurt? I know he got hurt a few weeks ago.
He may play this week.
I know, like last time they played the Falcons, he was on Julio and he destroyed Julio through 3 quarters.
I see what you traded him, you little sly devil.
Well, that's not what I put.
Austin Hooper remained sidelined on Tuesday. Did he practice today?
He did not.
Okay, so yeah, Austin Hooper probably will not play.
He's been ruled out officially.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Tyreek Hill is practicing. He practiced in full on Wednesday after a hamstring injury. I believe last time they played, which was 2 weeks ago. So he will probably be good to go. But hamstring injuries for wide receivers and running backs or skill position players in general are very bad.
Yeah, ask Anthony.
No matter how good or bad they are, no matter
just
how
linger.
What is it called? Not good or bad, but how
badly the guy's injured.
Yeah,
is what you're trying to say.
There's another word I was looking for, but whatever.
There's a better way to word that.
Tyreek Hill having this hamstring injury, if it may linger, and so just keep an eye on that. Damian Williams did not practice Wednesday. I would watch him for Sunday and see if he practices Friday. I'm not sure that you want to start him at this point.
Probably not.
After this Sunday. But James Conner, he said that he's not going to play this week. So there's that. He remains sidelined at Wednesday's practice. Benny Snell, get him in your lineups. I don't know who they play. Juju Smith-Schuster cleared the league's concussion protocol, but he was spotted with a knee brace on. So, I guess one good thing equals one bad thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Was there anything else?
If you want to consider this news, Delaney Walker got put on IR.
Okay. Yeah, Jonas Smith is the guy. And I don't know if you want him at all.
Yeah, probably not.
So let's talk about some matchups for week 13. We got, I mean, to me, this is the game of the week. I believe this game may have been flexed to 4.
Okay.
I could be wrong. It's 49ers at Ravens, and this is the game. This is the game of the year. I would say. It is.
It's up there.
It's the 9-1 or 9-2 Ravens against the 10-1 49ers. Is that accurate?
And it is supposed to rain
at 1:00. So
it still says 1:00, so it might not have been flexed.
Yeah, I don't think it was flexed. This is terrible. What's the Sunday night football game?
I think it's Cowboys.
No, Cowboys are playing on Thursday night, my dude.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's Viking. Sunday night is Patriots Houston. And
that's a good game.
Monday night is Vikings at Seattle. That's also a good game. So, but I feel like the game of the year should not be at 1:00.
I think it will probably get flexed to 4, to be honest.
But no, that's a really, really good game. 49ers and Ravens. Hold on, give me a second to find it. Oh, there it is. So, yeah, it should be a really good game. There is a forecast of rain. The over/under is actually kind of low. I know. I was echoing your.
Oh yeah, that's right. Or were you just
46 point over under? Shut up. 46 point over under. So we got Jimmy G. Lamar's obviously a start. He's been spectacular this year. You can't not start him. Jimmy G, on the other hand, has been showing signs of being a very good quarterback. The concerns are very real that he's not matchup-proof at all.
No.
So if you have Jimmy Garoppolo or you own him or you are thinking about playing him,
Do not start him.
Do not start Jimmy Garoppolo. Baltimore has been absolutely freaking insane since acquiring Marcus Peters. And so I don't see him being able to move the ball very well. Baltimore's run defense has been good, so I would say Coleman and Breida are also extremely bad plays this week.
Yeah.
I don't like
This is going to be, I think,
I don't like
low
Emmanuel
scoring game.
Sanders.
The only guy I would start is George Kittle.
George Kittle, yeah. I mean, I'll just run through. I like running through the whole team when there's nobody to talk about. But Mark Ingram on the other side, these two defenses are two of the best in the league. And so Lamar is a good start, but everyone else makes me nervous. I know you got to start Mark Ingram because he's Mark Ingram. But if you have even Andrews, you know what I mean? Like, for lack of a better option, you have to start Andrews. But if there is a guy on the waiver wire that you can pick up this week and play, like if Ryan Griffin's out there, I would play Ryan Griffin this week over Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I would too.
So if, that is out there, I don't know if there's anyone else that you really wanted to discuss in this game or not.
I think we can move on. It's going to be a really good game, but fantasy-wise might not be a good game.
Yeah, except for Lamar.
Yeah, but even Lamar, I don't know.
I'm curious.
Like, he's he's obviously start. He's showing that he's matchup proof and all that. But like, don't expect like another like 30 or 40 points.
His ceilings are high.
Yeah,
because he
can run and stuff.
He can run. But we'll see what happens. Buccaneers at Jaguars. We got
famous Jameis, bro.
Yeah, Jameis Winston. I'm sorry, I was blanking on Jameis Winston's name. We got Jameis Winston, and Nick Foles. You like Nick Foles in this game. I don't. As I go further in the week, I start to dislike Foles more and more.
I almost made him my start of the week.
Sweaty you are, but Nick Foles.
Only for this week, but yes.
I mean, it is at home, and it is a good matchup.
It's at home against the worst team in the league.
Was Nick Foles, when he was starting for the Eagles last year, a good option to start?
Usually no.
Yeah.
But did he throw the ball 48 times a game, which he has so far as the starter?
It's gross that he's thrown 48 passes.
I'm not saying it's a good thing.
35.
I'm not saying it's a good thing.
Like 200 yards in games. That's gross to me. That's awful.
It's because he hasn't
opened up yet.
Yeah.
His shoulder hasn't,
But I think this is the week, though. Again, home against Tampa.
I don't think it's a bad play. I just don't think you're going to get what you want from him, if you know what I mean.
You think he'll get 20?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure.
Okay.
He might get 18. I would say 18, 19.
Okay.
Very close to 20. He might crack 20, but I wouldn't expect like 25 to 30. Like if he gets 30 points,
I'm not expecting 30. Yeah. But I think he'll get 20 to 25.
Now,
like maybe like 21, 22.
This week is a fabled game. We used to be in the same division in our league, me and Rick. And we are not in the same division after a divisional shakeup called for by the league. And so now we play once a year, and this year happens to be week 13.
The last week of the season.
I'm playing for a bye week, and he's playing for a playoff spot.
Yeah, so last 2 weeks I've choked.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see
what
happens.
I went from the highest scoring team in the league.
But I tried to stream
like
Sam Darnold, and I got robbed on Wednesday night or Tuesday night on waivers, and you got your man Nick Foles
for $1.
So if I'm wrong, I'm very wrong.
It's true.
But anyway, Jameis Winston against Jacksonville. I don't like this game at all, so I would say no.
Yeah, there's a reason I'm streaming.
Yeah. So then we got Rojo. He has seen a little bit more work, but I'm starting to see him as game script dependent.
Yeah.
If they go behind early,
they're just throwing the ball 55 times.
They're just going to throw the ball 55 times, yeah.
Do you think this is the game they go behind early, then?
Not at all. I do not think that's
going
to be the case. So I think Ronald Jones could actually have a good week, but Jacksonville's rush defense is not bad. So I would be nervous about playing Ronald Jones. It is on the road. It's a tough one, but
I'm nervous about it too. But
at this point, yeah, I think you might be okay starting him. On the other side, you got Fournette.
Yep, obvious start.
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin,
obvious
starting
start.
both. Godwin this is getting ridiculous. It keeps going back and forth between Godwin and Evans. Mike Evans has 62 receptions, 1,043 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Chris Godwin has 70 receptions, 1,071 yards, and 9 touchdowns.
The last 2 weeks has been all Godwin.
It really has. Start both. Don't start Howard. I do like... This is a interesting one, but I really like Chark.
Oh!
This week. He's a great...
Love it.
I was going to make him my start of the week at wide receiver, but I thought it was too easy.
It is too...
So
you know why, bro?
Why?
He's 5th in points among wide receivers.
That's gross, dude.
He's a top
I feel like the
receiver.
last 4 games, he's just going to fall off the earth.
Yeah, but even if he
I'm
does...
waiting for that balance.
If he falls off the earth the last 4 games of the season and gets like 6 points in each game,
yeah,
he's still going to be a top 8 receiver in fantasy.
Right. Is there anyone else you want to talk about in this game?
No, that's probably it.
All right, Browns at Steelers, 39-point over-under. The rematch of... I wish Mason Rudolph was playing in this game because it would make it slightly more interesting.
It would.
Yeah, because... it's
you think that's why he...
It's the rematch.
That's not why, but...
No, that's not why. I think he blows. But, yeah, so you got Baker. Last time Baker played Pittsburgh at home, he had 24 fantasy points or something like that. So he had a good game. In our league, it was 24. I'm sorry.
I think in most leagues it was like 20.
It was 20 to 21 or something like that. So he had a good game against Pittsburgh. I don't like Baker on... Now, you're going to look at the games. You're going to be, oh, my God, he had 18, 19, 21.
He's been trending up each week.
Yeah, 26. He's trending up. He's getting better. Do not start Baker Mayfield this week. He is a bad play. He has been getting better. I don't think he's thrown an interception in like 4 weeks. So the offense entirely has been improving and getting better. But Baker is just
yeah.
He's on. If this was at home, I may consider playing him. But it's just it's on the road, and it's just gross.
Pittsburgh's been decent, even though he...
Yeah. And then on the other side, you got the newly minted and announced quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is gross. Pittsburgh is 6-5 and second in the AFC North. They
might be a wild card team.
They could make the playoffs, and they don't have a freaking.
Is Mike Tomlin coach of the year?
No, I still kind of
if they make the playoffs.
No, he's done really good. I don't like Mike Tomlin. I think he's
a little overrated too.
He's kind of the reason why Bell and Brown were the way that they are.
Maybe
they were normal when he showed up.
Well, I don't know if Antonio Brown was there.
No. Antonio Brown was there.
Well, Bell never really caused
Bell's not crazy. He's not but he
just wanted his money.
He held out a whole friggin' season for money. I mean, that was anyway. Yeah. So Hodges is not a start at all.
No.
Yeah, you stay away from it. Chubb on the other side. This is a concerning matchup for Nick Chubb.
It's not a good matchup. But last time, didn't he get what did he get last time?
I think it was like 10.
Oh, was it?
At home. That was the return of Kareem Hunt. He had a total of 9.
But he did have he had 27 carries that game. Wow.
Yeah. If the Browns offense is there, this could also be a game where Nick Chubb could get game scripted out. If when I say the Browns offense is there, I mean it's what it's supposed to be, and they score like 35 points.
If that's the case, I think that'd be a good thing for Chubb.
I disagree.
Because
I'm sorry. I'm confusing.
Do you mean if they don't do well, and they're...
Yes, if they're trailing.
Okay, yeah.
Is what I meant to say. If Pittsburgh's doing well, which is unlikely. So we'll have to see what happens with Nick Chubb. He struggled last time playing Pittsburgh. I think this is going to be a very close game. It's kind of stupid, but this is a big game for the Brownies because if the Browns lose this game, they win it, they tie the Steelers.
Yeah,
and they have a chance of doing interesting things. But
if
they lose,
the Browns could realistically win out. They play Cincinnati twice.
Yeah, I know. It's gross. But anyway, so
they would just have to beat Baltimore again, which is probably unlikely.
Yeah,
but it's at home, possible.
So anyway, Nick Chubb is a concerning matchup. What do you think of Benny Snell?
I don't like him, but
it feels gross. But
it feels gross.
He had 98 yards last week.
Yeah, and they're probably going to use him a lot. James Conner is not playing this week, as you said in the news.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think Snell, he's going to get a lot of touches,
right?
Especially with Hodges now at quarterback.
Should be interesting.
I think if you have him on your team and you picked him up, I think he's worth a start.
And then you don't have Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm not sure about James Washington. I believe he's in. And then Deontay Johnson, who had a decent.
Do you want to start any of these guys with Hodges at quarterback?
But against Cleveland? No.
Yeah.
Hodges at quarterback is the key words there. Odell is he's so close to being one of those fringe. He's like a low end flex right now, and he's so close to being one of those like fringe like streaming options, like Juju would be right now if he was playing.
Yeah.
So it's like
I mean, the last 4 weeks, last 5 weeks, he's been okay.
He's getting the target
13,
share.
7, 10, 8, 8, 17.
But like choose a wide receiver here for the Browns in this game, if you had to start one.
Honestly, the way Landry's been playing, you probably have to go.
I know. I literally say Landry too. Baker loves that slot receiver for some reason, and
I mean, it's not like Jarvis Landry's a bad receiver. He's wicked good. He's one of the best slot receivers in the league.
The difference between Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham really this year has been touchdowns. That's kind of the big one. Jarvis
Landry is a start for sure. And Odell, I think if you have Odell on your team, you're probably
got to start him. And let's move on to the next game. Packers at Giants, 45.5 point over under. You can justifiably not start anybody on the Packers with the exception of Saquon Barkley.
You mean Giants?
I mean, not Giants.
I was going to say.
Giants.
When did the Giants become the 2007 Giants again?
Outside of Barkley, I believe Sterling Shepard may be returning for this game.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram might be an okay start.
If he plays
against the Packers defense.
Evan Ingram, I think, has missed the last 4 weeks. So.
Yeah. But with the Packers defense is pretty good.
Packers defense against tight ends ranks 26th. So if Evan Ingram does play, I think he's...
Yeah, he's a good start.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley, Evan Ingram, only good starts on the Giants. On the Packers, literally start everyone.
Yeah.
Allen Lazard, Geronimo Allison, you got him. Fire him up.
Maybe not that far.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to go that far. Adams is a good play. Jimmy Graham is terrible.
Yeah, not Jimmy Graham.
I would start both Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams this week.
I would too.
And then Rodgers. Like we told you, 2 weeks for Rodgers, and that's it.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next game. Eagles at Dolphins. This is anybody on the Dolphins?
No.
I'm trying to find the game right now.
Devontae Parker. He's been like average.
No, he's been good. I mean, against the Eagles, who give up a lot of fantasy points to wide receivers, he could be a good play.
Yeah, at home, I think. Yeah, I would say Devontae Parker.
Now, obviously, not starting Fitzmagic, but Carson Wentz is an interesting guy because the last 3 weeks in total, I want to give you his numbers. The last 3 weeks, it has been
it's been brutal,
gross to say the least. He's a very good quarterback that's not playing very good.
His receivers are not helping him though.
His last few weeks, so he was having a decent year up until week 6. And then it was Dallas, Buffalo, Chicago, New England, and Seattle. And he had 7, 15, 16, 13, and 9.
I mean, those are not easy matchups at all.
No, but now he's got end of season, Miami, New York, Washington, and Dallas. And the interesting thing that you have to note with Carson Wentz is that A, he had those hard matchups, and B, he literally has not had a receiver to throw to all season.
Yeah.
And his left tackle, I believe, has been hurt. Or his left guard has been hurt.
Yeah, his offensive line's been banged up.
So
if you look at Wentz's schedule through the whole season, it's clear that he's similar to Rodgers, where if he has a tough matchup, he's not going to do well.
Right.
But if he's in a good situation, he's going to have a good fantasy output. I mean, he's had a tough schedule. He's played Green Bay, Dallas, Minnesota, Buffalo, Chicago, New England, Seattle.
At home versus Seattle. Seattle has given up the number 18 least fantasy points.
Yeah, you could argue that.
You could argue that game should have been a game where he played well. And he threw 45 passes, 256 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He did not look good.
Right.
And so, I mean, statistically, he hasn't been an awful quarterback. He's just not good for fantasy. Against Miami has given up less than 20 fantasy points to a quarterback only twice this year. So I believe that's the statistic.
Yeah.
But I would start Chris Wentz against Miami if you have him. I feel like that would be a good play unless you have a better option on your team.
No, I think Wentz against Miami.
It's so gross.
It is gross.
And apparently, he has a hand injury of some sort.
Oh, does he?
I don't know if he practiced on Wednesday. But it is a gross game. It's like, like we were talking about Jared Goff against Arizona. I believe we talk about that game next. But against Arizona, that's such a gross matchup too. I don't know.
Carson Wentz was a full participant.
Okay, so he should be okay. If you have Carson Wentz, I'd fire him up against Miami. He's a good matchup. If he's on your waiver wire, because people are sick and tired of him, you can pick him up and stream him.
Oh, he'd be a great stream this week.
Great stream this week. And then we got Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard against Miami. I don't know if Jordan Howard's going to play. He's been out for a couple of weeks, I believe.
If he doesn't
did
play,
he return already? I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, I can look right now.
This is why we need a producer.
If
Job openings for producers.
Gosh, I gotta scroll. Who even? Oh, okay, Jordan Howard. So he's limited in practice. He did not play this past week. He hasn't played since week 9.
So Jordan Howard, if he does play, he's a good play this week. Miles Sanders is obviously a good play. Jay Ajayi, he only had 6 attempts last week, or 5 attempts. I believe. He didn't have any work. So
Miles Sanders is the clear guy.
Yeah, Miles Sanders is the clear guy if Jordan Howard does not play, and it's a great matchup for Miles Sanders. This could be a breakout game for Miles Sanders if you want to jump
potentially.
Up. Potentially. And then you have on the other side Kalen Ballage. If you own Kalen Ballage, you're an idiot.
Okay,
drop him.
That's a little strong. That's a little strong. That's a very strong, actually.
People. Okay, so I don't know if we ever recommended this. I don't remember. So if you people want to go back in time and find this and make a clip and make fun of me, feel free. But Kalen Ballage, I don't think we ever told people to pick him up.
No.
But there were fantasy experts around the world. Now, I respect the fantasy football community, but this take was so bad. It was to go pick up Kalen Ballage because he had the workload. And we might have said the same thing. I don't know. But Ballage is so bad. He is so freaking bad. Like, it's just night and day. Like, even when they had Kenyon Drake wasn't good. But he was at least, like, okay. He was okay enough for your last bench spot. You know what I mean? Like, Kalen Ballage isn't even worth your last bench spot. He's just bad. If you still own him, you're not managing your team properly.
What if you're in a really deep league? He's the starting running back on an NFL team.
I drop him in dynasty leagues. He's so gross.
Wow.
Yeah, he's so nasty. I can't. When you get 71 attempts and only get 135 yards, that's so bad. It's less than 2 yards a carry. It's so bad. So I wouldn't play him. Like you said, Devontae Parker's the only guy. Mike Gesicki did catch a touchdown, 28 yards this week. I think he had 8 targets. So he could be a late season ad if you need a tight end. I don't know. See, there's so many guys that just weren't in the injury reports this week that I have no freaking clue on. Alshon Jeffrey.
Alshon Jeffrey, yeah.
Did he practice and is he going to play? I believe he's going to play. He practiced in full on Wednesday.
So he'll play then.
Yeah, so it's likely that he'll play. Nelson Aguilar was also a full participant, and they cut Jordan Matthews. So that means that this is going to be. I'm surprised they haven't played like Arcega-Whiteside a lot. Has he been hurt too? I don't remember.
I have no clue.
But anyway, if Alshon Jeffrey does play and Nelson Aguilar does play, then finally Carson Wentz gets some receivers back. Do you like playing? I don't like Aguilar at all, but like Alshon Jeffrey.
It's wicked gross, but I think against Miami, Jeffrey could be a good play.
And then Zach Ertz is a play.
Yeah, Zach Ertz.
Let's move to Rams at Cardinals. I was talking about this a little bit a second ago. Jared Goff, man, he's probably been dropped. His 2, 3, and 5 point weeks
are disgusting.
Just they're gonna lose you games.
I've hated Goff all year. You know my takes.
So here's the thing. The Cardinals have given up a significant amount of fantasy points to quarterbacks. You have Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and Brandon Cooks back. Gerald Everett has shown life as a tight end.
All those guys played last week, though, too.
You got I know, but they were playing Baltimore
Yeah, I know.
on Monday Night Football. That was just a game where you knew they were going to get trounced. Against Arizona. In Arizona. So Goff is on the road.
Yeah.
Is it a good matchup for you to stream him? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say I don't like him despite the fact that he's playing Arizona. And I only say that because he's on the road.
I think if you're streaming him, he could be a good play. But
he's probably dropped. I'm not even lying.
Yeah, no,
he was dropped in our league this week finally.
He could be a good play, but I think there's just better guys out there.
Like, would you take? Okay,
I think he's gonna have a good week, and this is
I'm gonna play this game.
Goff hater.
Some stream guys. Who would you play? Over Jared Goff? Carson Wentz.
I'd play Wentz.
Okay. Would you play Sam Darnold over?
I'd play Sam Darnold.
Would you play Ryan Tannehill?
I would not actually.
Okay. Why?
I think divisional game. I think is it in Indianapolis?
It's Indianapolis.
Yeah, I think division game in Indianapolis. I think it spells not good things for the Titans.
I don't know if we talk about this game on the show, but anyway. Goff against Arizona is just a gross matchup for me. And then we got Kyler Murray. He's had, I believe it's 26, 29, and then 28 the last 3 weeks. When this kid gets going on the ground, he's great. The big difference between Kyler Murray through the first 8 weeks and Kyler Murray for the last 3 has been
his running.
No, it's been the fact that the first half of the season he only had, I think, a touchdown or one or more touchdowns in 3 different games.
Oh.
So he only 3 out of his 8 games he threw a touchdown pass. Since then, the last 3 weeks, he's had 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
So Kyler Murray has been moving up in the touchdown pass category. The offense is getting better, which is surprising.
I think Kyler Murray could be next year's Lamar Jackson. Now, the problem is, or he could be next year's Baker Mayfield. Right, yeah.
He's going to get drafted. I'm going to be so mad because I so desperately want to draft
It'll be Mahomes off the board.
It'll
be Lamar. He'll be the first quarterback. Then it'll be Mahomes, and then it'll be Kyler.
It will. It honestly will, and people will get overhyped. They're going to go out and get a big-time wide receiver. They'll go sign Antonio Brown. People will be like, holy crap.
Go to jail.
Oh, my God.
And then you can sit there and take Deshaun Watson in the 10th round.
It's gross. And then we got Gurley, obviously a good play. I think Gurley has become slightly game script dependent. In the context too, they got blown out 21-0 after like a quarter and a half. And they just didn't use Todd Gurley in the game. It was like, holy crap, we got to pass the ball the whole game now. And when you do that, it takes Gurley entirely out of the game. Even if they pass it to him 3 times, it doesn't.
I think he had like 4 catches for like -1 yard.
Yeah. So
because there was a few plays where they threw a screen to him and he got hit like 6 yards behind the line.
He only had 9 touches. So in this game, I don't think Arizona is going to rip off 21 points in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Think that's gonna happen. I think they're going to establish the run with Todd Gurley and get back to what they do offensively, and this could be a good game for Todd Gurley. Malcolm. Wow. Never mind. I was going to say Malcolm Brown, and I don't really want to talk about him. We got Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Brandon Cooks. All 3 have really good matchups. Obviously, is there a guy you don't want to start here?
Maybe Cooks.
Yeah.
But even Woods, I don't.
Woods, I don't
want to start either Cooks or Woods, to be honest, at this point.
Woods is. You see, you've been. A lot of people have been really sleeping on what Woods has been doing. He's had some bad games, and early in the season he was not very good. But since I think in the last 3 weeks, he's had 10 or more fantasy points a game and have PPR. So
he had 12, 13, 5, 11, 7, 7, 22, 7, 5, and 12. So
that doesn't seem right.
And half PPR. And he had 0, but I think he didn't play that week. Yeah, he did not play week 11.
Did you say that in order?
Reasons. Yes, from this past week to
because I felt like the 22-point game was way earlier in the season.
I said from 12.
Yeah, he didn't play against Chicago.
12 to 1. 12, 13,
So
5.
The last 2 weeks he's had 13 and 12, and he has a good matchup against Arizona. He did have the last 2 weeks 11 and 9 targets. So we'll have to see what happens with Robert Woods. It's against Arizona. If there's a time you're going to play freaking Robert Woods or Brandon Cooks, it's against the Arizona freaking Cardinals.
I guess. I think Robert Woods can be a decent option, but if you have better options, go there.
Now the rush defense for the Rams and the pass defense has been very good. So when you talk about Kenyon Drake, David Johnson, Chase Edmonds, all three of them for the first time ever are going to be in the same backfield.
Oh, isn't that just wonderful going for Cardinals running back owners?
I own 2. Let's get it.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and none of them start, thank goodness. I don't have to choose.
Imagine if you did.
Yeah, that would be gross. But Kenyon Drake...
It would have to be Drake, probably, right?
Here's what I think is going to happen. Chase Edmonds, to them, has always been the third guy.
Yep.
So I don't think Chase Edmonds is going to get a lot of work. If I had to choose a running back right now, and not that I'm begging to start one against the Rams, but if I had to choose a Cardinals running back, I would choose Kenyon Drake.
I think at this point it has to be Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, it has to be Kenyon Drake. Now, if David Johnson comes out and saves people's lives in fantasy football and has a 20-plus point game and gets back to what David Johnson, he's healthy, he looks good, and he gets back to full-out David Johnson, how many weeks of that do you need to see to trust him again, or can you just throw him in your lineup the next week?
I think
in the playoffs.
It depends how he gets used. Is it 20 points from a 50-yard touchdown reception off a screen and like 10 touches, or is it like 20 points off like 20 touches?
I mean, that's the biggest thing is like the first thing you always got to check is you see the fantasy points, you got to check the touch count.
So I think that would be
efficiency can be ridiculous.
If he gets used a lot.
This is what I did all year last year with Tyler Lockett, and yet.
Yeah. Still 10 points a week. Yeah, I think if he gets used a lot, then I think you could be okay with starting him again. But the Cardinals backfield, if that happens, then they're just showing that they're just going with whoever each week. Yeah. Because the previous 2 weeks has been Kenyon Drake, and then if they use David Johnson this week a lot, then it's...
See, I don't think it really fully... I think there's something wrong with David Johnson, and I kind of want the Cardinals to just make a freaking decision.
Right.
Like and maybe this is the week where they're out of the wild card. This is over. Like your season's done. So if you think David Johnson's a very good player, put him on IR. You don't want him to get hurt, or you want to save him for trades or something like that. Just put him on IR and end his season, and let us have some clarity on the Kenyon Drake situation, because I do believe that Kenyon Drake would become the new David Johnson, which in turn would probably mean great things for him. But they're almost people are going to be like, David Johnson's so talented, but they're almost mirror image players. Like they're the same player.
Right.
They're not any different. It's just David Johnson's been on a team that's better, if you want to say that, than Miami. So anyway, and then you got the wide receivers, Christian Kirk, Larry Fitzgerald. Christian Kirk has been really good at times and then really bad.
He also has been injured too.
So do you like Kirk against the Rams? Rams.
I'm actually going to talk about that later.
All right. And then on the other side, Gerald Everett, start that tight end if you have him. Yeah. Arizona. We'll talk about that later. Chargers at Broncos, 38.5 point over under. This game is freaking nasty gross, man. So you got...
I'll be watching for fantasy purposes. Yeah.
Brandon Allen, no. Phillip Rivers, no. Melvin Gordon, yes. Philip Lindsay / Royce Freeman. Freeman's now garbage can. Philip Lindsay against the Chargers is a bad matchup. No, it's a great matchup. Yeah, sorry.
Wait, hold on.
It scared me a little bit. No, they are a good matchup. It's their number 27.
Are they 27?
Rush defense in the NFL. Bad rush defense.
Yeah.
So I would start Lindsay. I was actually looking at Philip Lindsay's numbers as a potential. Like last year, you saw at the end of the season, the Chris Carson, Aaron Joneses of the world led you into your playoffs and through your playoffs with some surprise performances at the end of the season. I actually think Lindsay could do that, because if you look at his schedule,
it's
ridiculously bad. And so I think if you have an opportunity with him on your team to start him, I would do it. He had a bad game this week against Minnesota, where a lot of people felt he was going to have a good game. But Minnesota's defense is not too shabby, so I wouldn't, gawk at that and say, oh my God. And now with Brandon Allen as the starting quarterback, not a huge fan of Cortland Sutton. Noah Fant, maybe. Actually, you know what? I saw a report.
What's the report?
Back the truck up. Brandon Allen's probably not going to start. They're not.
This should have been in the news. Oh, you're right. Drew Lock is
Drew Lock is going to make his debut in this game. Oh boy, that's terrible. Philip Lindsay 100% should be in your lineup because the rookie quarterbacks just dump it to the running back the entire game.
Oh yeah.
Cortland Sutton is a sit, and I don't know about Font. Font is meh. So they brought in Joe Flacco, and they still only won 3 games. That's gross. Keenan Allen against Denver is gross, but it's Keenan Allen, so I guess you got to roll with him. Do you like Hunter Henry?
Yes, of course, Hunter Henry. Dude.
He's like, yes, of course. Let's move on to Raiders at Chiefs. This is actually going to be a relatively decent game. It's actually very important for the Oakland Raiders. Because if they win this game, they could take the lead in the division.
You know what'd be much better is if they just won last week against a 3-win Jet team, which if they would have done that, which they should have.
Behind so early and they just couldn't.
I know.
Back in. They
just gave up. But if they would have won that game like everybody thought they would and they were supposed to, this would be the game for the division, like legit. I mean, it still is, but
right.
But now if they lose it, like if they would have lost. If they would have beat the Jets and then lost this week, it would be like, we're not going to win the division, but we can at least make the playoffs.
Right.
If they lose this week, they might not make the playoffs.
At all. Derek Carr, do you like him against Kansas City?
I do, but I don't love him.
Okay.
So there's other options. Go with the other options.
Obviously, start Mahomes.
Yep.
Josh Jacobs.
I like Josh Jacobs this week.
Start Josh Jacobs. What about any of the running backs in the problematic situation for Kansas City?
I don't like any of them.
Apparently, they worked out Elijah McGuire.
Oh, gosh.
So they're getting desperate over here. Yeah,
That's disgusting.
Throw that up right in the garbage can. If the Chiefs lose this game, there's so many good teams in the AFC. The wild card is actually very good.
Yeah, but if the Chiefs lose this game, I'd expect them to be a wild card team.
Yeah, no, I would too. But I'm just saying, if they lose like one more game, they could actually fall out of the wild card.
Play the Pats.
Because who's the number 2 seed? Who's 8-3? Or the number 1? Yeah, so they have the number 2 in the division.
Who's the second wild card team though? Isn't it Oakland right now? It's Oakland and Pittsburgh.
So. Yeah,
6-5.
Oh, this is gonna get interesting.
That's so good. You know why though?
Why?
I think the Browns are gonna end up making the playoffs. I'm taking that train.
I kind of like the Raiders, and I want them to make the playoffs.
I kind of like the Raiders too, so I wouldn't mind that.
Tyrell Williams against KC. Do you like him? Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah.
Hold your breath and start the Waller.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Okay, and then Travis Kelce, obviously.
Yep.
So let's talk about Patriots at Texans, Sunday Night Football, 45-point over-under. We have Tommy Brady, who, when you look at his numbers, he actually doesn't look too bad.
Yeah.
2,942. He might get to 4,000 passing yards and like 22 touchdowns this year.
22 touchdowns.
And be okay.
It's not good.
No, it's not. Well, I mean,
it's not.
How many touchdown passes did he throw last year?
He was like 28.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, well, that's a good season though. Like,
yeah,
there was a year that Matt Ryan threw like 22 touchdowns.
22 TDs
this year. That is. I mean, he's 42 years old. He's played almost 20 years. Yeah, he has played 20 years in the NFL. Ugh, man, that is kind of gross. He threw. Hold on, I was looking it up. He threw. It's only showing me playoff metrics. Frick me.
You looking for playoff metrics?
No, I'm looking for how many freaking touchdowns he threw.
Oh, I can tell you.
He threw 29.
Right now.
He threw 29 last year.
Okay, I don't think he's gonna get that.
No, he's not gonna get that this year. Tom Brady, slight decline, sucks. Don't start him. Deshaun Watson against New England. We'll talk a little bit about him later because we both fully agree what to do with him. Sony Michel has been a roller coaster ride as well. Against Houston, their rush defense has been awful this year. And I think
Sony's actually a decent play.
Yeah, last week he was okay.
He's a flex option.
Yeah, at best. Then you got on the other side Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson. Actually, both have been decent. For the Hyper Bowl reactions on the biggest draft night of the year after what's his name went down to an injury in a preseason game during drafts. Lamar, what is his name?
You're confusing me.
Running back for Houston.
Oh, Lamar Miller.
Lamar Miller went down. Carlos Hyde and
Talking
Duke
about
Johnson.
like the draft. I was like,
Duke
what?
Johnson went extremely high.
Yeah. You can thank
Sixth
me.
round to you.
I think that was a good pick.
I think people did freak out.
It was
a little
seventh
bit.
round. It was seventh. It wasn't sixth.
No, it was
seventh.
sixth. I can promise you. I took.
I'm pretty
Pickens.
sure. It was,
I shouldn't say that loud. But anyway, yeah, I do like either one of these guys in this game.
No.
Okay. And then you got DeAndre Hopkins. I think you kind of have to just start him.
Yeah, you just have to start him, but that's going to be so gross, and you know they're going to put Stephon Gilmore on him.
Yeah, after last week. I think Amari Cooper is more bustable than DeAndre
He is. Like, Hopkins, no matter who you put on him, I think will get like 4 to 5 catches at least. Yeah. Cooper's the kind of guy that you can just like shut out completely.
Right. Then we got Julian Edelman against Houston. Start him. And I think Mohamed Sanu might be hurt. So I none of these guys are really.
I wouldn't start anyway.
And so I think that's it. That's it.
That's it.
Vikings is at Seahawks 49.5 point over under Monday Night Football game. Kirk Cousins, he's not came from a bye, so everyone kind of forgot about him. He's secretly having a decent year.
It's funny because he started the first like 3 games of the season. He was brutal, and since then he's been like
when they decided,
fantastic.
Frick, we need to pass the football to win football games. But
even like fantastic. Like his numbers are fantastic, but if you watch him play, he like misses a lot of throws. And there's like a lot of like check downs and like
stop roasting Cousins.
Against
he's good.
Seattle, I think he's good.
Against Seattle, I think he's a good play.
Yeah.
Seattle has the number 18 pass defense.
Yeah,
Seattle is not
Seattle
a good
on a Monday Night Football.
All right, whatever.
I'm just saying, bro.
And then Russell Wilson is he got to start him.
Yep.
He has those boom games that can win you a week.
Yep.
Dalvin Cook start.
Eat.
I don't think he's going to eat against Seattle.
No, but he'll be down.
He'll have a great game though. Chris Carson and /Rashad Penny. Well, I don't want to start Penny until we know what the workload might be for Penny.
Yeah.
In a real life situation.
I honestly,
but I really do feel like Chris Carson's like one fumble away from completely losing his job.
Yeah, but you kept saying I think on was it Tuesday's show about one of the reasons why Carson was benched was because of the fumble.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that it was just they put Penny in just because Penny gets like 3 carries a game anyway. And when he got his first carry, he got like 20 yards. They're like, oh, well, we'll just leave him in. And then he got like another 20 yards, and then he got like a 50-yard touchdown run. Mm-hmm. So they just kind of rode the hot hand. So if Penny doesn't do that Monday night in his first few carries, I think they'll go right back to Carson full time. But if Penny does have if they give the ball to Penny early in the game and he has like a monster run,
they put Chris Carson in for his first run and he fumbles it,
then I think you have
something. But Chris Carson is a start. I would sit Penny just in, don't start him right away because you picked him up off the waiver wire. We'll talk about Metcalf and Lockett later. I'll talk about Metcalf later, but Lockett is obviously a start. And I'll talk about Hollister a little bit later. And then we got Thielen and Diggs. Thielen may not play this week. If he practices Friday, it'll be more of a clear.
If he does play, is he a good play?
I don't know.
Okay, I'd say I think you have to play him. If he's on your team, he's probably your wide receiver 1 or 2. To be honest,
that hurts so badly. You know what's great? He spent the whole season hurt, and he's going to end up like a 5th round pick this year.
Yeah,
unless people start freaking out like last year,
and then he gets drafted late second, early third.
And then we got Diggs, who's been relatively decent this year. He has boom games, he has bust games. If you need a big game, I would start Diggs. If not, he's a good flex maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then you got Rudolph. I don't really like Rudolph.
I'll talk about him later.
Okay. That'll do it for our matchup breakdown segment of the show. We have, once again, like I said, full, no more bye weeks. Bye weeks are gone. They're in the garbage.
Yeah.
And we have to do 2 extra a week now. 2 extra games.
Dang.
So it takes us a little longer, but we're going to have to rapid
Wednesday.
Fire starts and sits for the week.
Fine. Let's do it then.
My start of the week at quarterback is Aaron Rodgers at New York. I told you that Rodgers has 2 more games maybe of success, and this would be a good week to start Rodgers. My sit of the week at quarterback is Deshaun Watson versus New England. We want to talk about this a little bit. I don't know if you put that as your sit as well.
I originally did, but I also my starts and sits were also Rodgers and Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
So I switched it to alternative options. I think Nick Foles is going to have a big week. You're probably cringing at that, but I do think Nick Foles or Sam Darnold. We both had ours as streaming options. I think either one of those guys can be your start of the week. And then my sit of the week is actually Josh Allen. He's right now, people are going nuts about him. I think he's the number 2 quarterback in fantasy since like week 7.
Yeah.
And he's been great, but I just don't trust Thanksgiving games, bro. And it's in Dallas. I don't know. I'm not liking it.
Yeah, I don't know. Deshaun Watson, though.
Against New England, who they just held Dak to, 6 points?
Yeah.
And what was the stat we mentioned last week before Dak had 6?
7 fantasy points a game.
Quarterbacks average 7 points a game when playing the New England
Unfortunately,
Patriots defense.
no matter how matchup, the only guy that I would
now,
start
what I will say
against New England are Lamar Jackson and Patty Mahomes.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson,
and even Mahomes, I would cringe.
If Deshaun Watson has a good game, he has a good game, and you're going to sit there and if he has a good game on your bench, you're going to be like, oh, I should have started him. When in reality, against New England, it is a wise decision to sit Deshaun Watson this week and stream a quarterback.
I think the only way Watson has a good week is if he runs, because New England has historically and this season have shown they struggle against running quarterbacks.
Too bad Dak couldn't figure that out last week.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But anyway, my start of the week at running back is Josh Jacobs at Kansas City, obviously. He's coming off, the only reason why I put him on this list is because he is coming off a bad week, and a lot of people are probably going to be like, Josh Jacobs isn't real. Start him against Kansas City. And then my sit of the week at running back is Devonta Freeman versus New Orleans. This is an extremely tough matchup. He is coming back this week, is confirmed. This is not the week that you want to rush him out there and start him. Wait till next week.
Okay, and my start of the week at running back is actually Todd Gurley against Arizona. He's coming off a 2-point week. People are scared. I think this week Todd Gurley's going to go off. My sit of the week at running back is a pretty big name who's been dominating the last few weeks, but it's Mark Ingram. He's coming off 2 straight 20-plus point weeks. He's been fantastic the last few weeks. I love Mark Ingram, but this week against San Francisco, who ranked number 2 against running backs, is just a wicked tough matchup for him. And I think if you have a better option, I would set Mark Ingram.
For my start of the week at wide receiver, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Is DK Metcalf versus Minnesota? If you're fighting for a playoff, playoff hopes or whatever, you're trying to make the playoffs this year. I would start DK Metcalf. He does. Do you know he's only had I believe it's 8 less targets than Tyler Lockett this year?
Wow.
So I would start DK Metcalf in this game. If he gets a touchdown pass and he has a big game, this could be a week where you go, holy crap, I needed a 20-point game from DK Metcalf. It's a decent game against Minnesota. So I would play him this week in a very important game for Minnesota versus Seattle, whatever.
Okay.
And then my sit of the week is Will Fuller versus New England.
My start of the week, same game. I have Julian Edelman actually against Houston. I don't know if Brady's gonna have a great game, but Houston's defense has not really been good at all this season.
Yeah.
So, and if Sanu doesn't play, because I know you were saying he is injured. If there's a chance Sanu misses the game, then that just means Edelman's gonna get double-digit targets easily. So,
yeah,
which he does anyway. But he might even get close to 15 targets again. So
right.
I think Edelman's a great play this week. And then my sit is Christian Kirk against the Rams for the Jalen Ramsey effect.
My start of the week at tight end is Gerald Everett against Arizona. Arizona gives up so many fantasy points to tight ends. It's unreal. So this should be a week where Gerald Everett is featured for the Los Angeles Rams. Sit tight end Jacob Hollister versus Minnesota. Minnesota's actually been very good against the tight end position. So I would sit Hollister.
My start of the week at tight end is Chris Herndon, a.k.a. Ryan Griffin. Same guy.
Here we go.
Ryan Griffin's been balling the last few weeks. I'm going to ride the storm against Cincinnati. It's a good matchup. They stink against everybody. My start of the week at tight end is Kyle Rudolph. It's just a tough matchup, Monday Night Football, and if Adam Thielen comes back, then that will take away a lot of Rudolph's targets.
There you go. Those are our starts and sits for the week. That's our episode. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Don't forget to check out our website, thefantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, like us on Facebook, do all that good stuff. Leave a review.
And don't gain 10 pounds.
Enjoy your weekend, people.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Champions Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes and YouTube and follow us on Twitter @TheFFChamps.